Good morning, radio listeners. You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is the Friday edition of the Morning Buzz. And I'm Leslie Gallagher, joined by my co host
Jake Goetz.
and our lovely sportscaster.
Cameron Martin.
Yes, and yes, it's just the three of us in the virtual studio today, unfortunately. But that's okay. Carry on. We move on.
Adapt
Alrighty,
and
Jake.
adjust.
What is going on in the world? And I know it's a lot, but I know you can do it.
Oh yeah, there's a whole lot, but we'll go over it. Okay, so for international news, across the pond, England lost one of its royals this morning. Husband of Queen Elizabeth, Philip II, has passed away. He recently spent a month in a hospital and was released in mid-March. His stay was for treating an infection and having a heart procedure. It is unknown if this is the cause of death for the 99-year-old royal. In New Jersey, Governor Murphy announced the opening of the Cannabis Regulatory Commission. There are 5 meetings in the work, with the first one being this Monday at 2 p.m. The commission will be taking over the state's medical marijuana program and oversee the industry. Even though Governor Murphy recently decriminalized the arrests for small amounts of marijuana, sales in the state are still months away. In Montclair, there's no flooding. Over on the Burnside Street in Montclair, there's a long history of severe flooding. Oh wait, there is flooding, I'm sorry. Uh, severe flooding during rainfall. Town officials just said that they are unable to fix the problem. They say that there is too much risk for contaminating groundwater in the area. Residents here routinely have flooding up to their doorsteps after just a normal heavy rain. One man even lost 4 cars this year due to the floods. The residents on the Burnside are urging public officials to help them with this problem. Weather today in Montclair, we have a whole lot of clouds all day long. It's going to reach a high of 61 later today and a low of 48, so make sure to bring your jacket. Sun will be setting later today at 6:30 p.m.
Wow. It's actually been really sunny the past couple of days, so it's interesting that today will be cloudy. But yes, hearts go out to the royal family, everyone involved.
Yeah, the
Sorry
birds.
about your loss. But anyways, yeah, there's a lot going on internationally too. So I guess we could start out on our first story today. And I know we talk about Corona a lot. So this is just
Yeah.
a preface. It's about Corona. Oh, just
It's
kidding.
just this one, though. It takes all this
Just
and that.
kidding. I'm sorry, Cam. Cam, what's going on in the world of sports?
In the world of sports, yesterday in the MLB, the Mets hosted the Marlins at Citi Fields. After being down 2-1 heading to the bottom of the ninth, Jeff McNeil clobbered an Anthony Bass pitch to tie the game. A few batters later, with bases loaded, Michael Conforto got up to bat. And allegedly, he was hit by a pitch, and with bases being loaded, that gave the Mets the 3-2 victory on a controversial ending. The Cubs took on the Pirates at PNC Park. Anthony Rizzo, Javier Baez, and Chris Bryant all hit home runs, and Jake Arrieta got his second one of the season, beating the Pirates 4-2. The Red Sox took on the Orioles down in the Camden Yards. Eduardo Rodriguez struck out 7 batters and got the 7-3 victory. In the NHL, the Penguins took on the Rangers for the second time this week. After surrendering 8 goals on Tuesday, Tristan Jarry made 22 saves. The Penguins won 5-2. The Devils took on the Buffaloes in their first game since the trade of Kyle Palmieri and Travis Zajac. Jack Hughes had 3 points, and the Devils won 6-3. Speaking of Palmieri and Zajac, they made their debut for the Islanders last night against the Flyers. Ilya Sorkin made 22 saves, and Brock Nelson hit the only goal in the shootout, giving the Islanders a 3-2 victory. In the NBA, the Heat took on the Lakers in Miami. Jimmy Butler had a 28-point, 7-rebound, and 5-assist performance as Miami took down the depleted champions 110-104. The Mavericks took on the Bucks, and Luka Doncic put on the show. His 27 points led the entire game, as well as having 9 boards and 9 dimes. Kristaps Porzingis had a double-double, 26 points, and the Mavs came away with the 116-101 victory. The Jazz and the Blazers met up last night. Rudy Gobert had 21 rebounds and a double-double. Donovan Mitchell had 37 points. and the Jazz came away with a 122-103 victory. The Blazers starting five had 2 more total rebounds than Go-Birds 21. In MSU news, the New Jersey Athletic Conference announced their women's basketball team. Congratulations to Taylor Brown and Kendall Hodges, as they're both named first team and second team All-NJAC respectively. Taylor Brown was also named NJAC Player of the Year. Congratulations to both those studs. Baseball took on TCNJ yesterday. Peter Costantino hit 2 home runs, and Ben Levine pitched 6.5 scoreless innings, on the way to picking up a win. And this game day, Red Hawks, after a 9-0 victory yesterday, the baseball team is back to host the Lions of TCNJ. If you're interested, first pitch is at 3:30. Also today, the track and field team returns to action at Ramapo. Tomorrow, baseball's a doubleheader against Stockton. Men's lacrosse takes on Keystone College. Softball takes on Camden in doubleheader. And the NJAC tournament for the soccer teams happens on Pittsburgh Field. Good luck to all the teams that compete tomorrow, and go Red Hawks.
Go Red Hawks. I love when you say, it's game day, Red Hawks. It's just so, it's very classic. It's like your thing now. I guess other people say that too, though. I don't know.
I try to just pick up on what I can do.
Yeah.
It's a Cam thing. It's game day, Red Hawks. I don't know. Brightens my spirit. and just when my spirit is brightened, you know.
Oh, yeah. Let's fix that.
Corona. Like I mentioned before, when I almost forgot Cam's newscast, but we don't talk about that. We have an interesting story that I came across on AP News. AP News, very reliable. We love AP News. And basically, a bunch of countries are hitting like new records for virus cases, which is just so alarming. You know, it's one thing for it to be bad in the US because, I mean, it's the US. Yeah. But it makes me sad when other countries are, you know, also hitting new records because I guess people, you know, are being less safe than before, and also the variants. So there's a lot going on. But essentially, there's a lot of countries that have hit new records, but the main ones that hit new peaks this past few days would be Brazil, India, and Iran. Some are calling this a third wave, and some statistics would be that the U.S. has 20% of our population fully vaccinated. Other countries, not so much. And Brazil, less than 3% of people, and India, less than 1%. And so it's just interesting. Another interesting thing, I keep saying the word interesting, so sorry, but in Detroit, I want to hear what you guys think about this. In Detroit, officials are planning on knocking on every residence door in the city to make sure that they know all the information they need to know about getting vaccinated. What is your guys' reaction to that? I'm
wow,
really
I have
curious.
mixed feelings. Because on one hand, I think it's good to make sure, like, because it's not forcing them to do anything. It's just like, hey, if you want to get vaccinated, it's there. But I don't know, the whole knocking on residence door, it's like, I don't know, like, put it online or something. Don't bother people like
put
that.
Put it online or something.
You know?
You're not
I don't know. I don't know if everyone has access to, you know, like the internet, but like.
I guess that might be the issue. What do you think, Cam?
I understand that you want to get the information out there, but at the same time, you know, just the whole idea of having people be bothered with it. Like some people, I know people that still won't get vaccinated no matter what. Like people, I know people like that. And if it's going to really just be a waste of time for them to have someone knock on your door, it's going to be frustrating to them, and it's going to make them be more what's the word I'm looking for? More resilient on not getting the vaccine. They're just going to be against everything. It's like, yeah, you know what? At this point, whatever. I'm not going to get it because you harassed me about it.
Yeah, and I don't know. Just like, you know, I don't know anything about, you know, getting information out to people in a time of crisis and, you know, this ongoing pandemic, but it is like a little nerve-wracking to me that they'll be knocking on people's doors and coming face to face with so many people. Like, that doesn't sound like a fantastic idea. Maybe, I don't know, creating like maybe a flyer with information and slipping it under doors. But I understand why they want to talk to people, make sure that they know. But I don't know, is it really going to get through to people? I mean, maybe because it's one-on-one, someone's coming up to you at your door, they think it'll be effective, which I don't think they're wrong. I just don't know how safe it is, you know?
I mean, yeah, because that too, the whole people won't wear the mask while they're inside their own houses, and it's like at that point, you're gonna infect people that are doing their job, walking around,
Mm-hmm.
and that just creates more of a spread, and that's really just gonna be where things start getting hectic. I mean, you could also just here's an alternative that they can do. They can just put in the mail. People can
Oh,
just
that's true.
just get their mail that way.
Yeah, because then it still gets to their door. They could put the information on a piece of paper. If that avoids the whole internet issue if they don't have internet or computer
Yeah.
access. So it kind of meets in the middle.
Yeah.
I just found that very interesting because
If they don't want it, they could just throw it out.
Exactly. If they don't want the resources, they don't need them. But for the people who don't know, they'll be able to know, which is good. And that's the thing is, I guess we do take for granted that we have internet access, most of us in our area and in college, because we need it for class, but like we don't think about it, we use it for a bunch of other stuff like our safety and keeping updates on this.
Oh, man.
It's interesting to think,
Definitely.
Okay, we need to put a ban on the word interesting for me. It's becoming
an
issue.
I'm gonna start taking tallies now.
Yeah.
Before my word that I would say a lot was, and I don't say that as much
I still
anymore.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you noticed.
Oh, we could talk about us like messing up words for so long, like, oh my god. But yes, Corona and the variants. The variants are the problem. I mean, because the vaccine will protect against COVID-19 and but the variants are different. I don't know. Again, Corona, talk about it a lot, but I don't know. I guess because people still aren't getting it, like how to be safe, like through their heads. So I guess this is why we're having this third wave. Sorry to all the other countries affected because of the U.S. though. Like honestly,
we're terrible. Our bad.
We really are.
Yeah.
Though. Like we're a mess. But anyways, Jake, would you like to go ahead and show us our next story?
Moving from one rosy topic to another, we have some stuff on guns. Biden orders new gun control action. He announced yesterday that a half dozen executive actions are being put forward to combat an epidemic of international embarrassment. That's his wording of gun violence in America. So some of these new steps include a move to crack down on ghost guns, which are basically homemade firearms. Like they send you parts and they don't have serial numbers, which is a big no-no for guns, because then you can't trace them, and you could purchase them without a background check, which is pretty bad. He's also moving to tighten.
Startling.
Yeah, he's also moving to tighten regulations on pistol stabilizing braces, like the one used in Boulder, Colorado, in a shooting last month that left 10 dead.
This is like. I watched back that clip of him saying it was an international embarrassment, and you know what? I don't disagree because the gun violence in America is like
it's off the charts.
It is off the charts. It's unlike any other country. And when you look at other countries that don't have this issue, you're like, what are we doing? And there's a lot of layers to this, First of all, cultural divides. Between even just like New Jersey and Texas, for example, like you're going to get a way different opinions on this.
Dude, you can even say between New Jersey and South Jersey.
Honestly, yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Are you from South Jersey, Cam?
I'm from South Jersey, and I hear a lot of people that I associate with down there. They feel very passionate that what Biden's doing is just very. They're not a fan of it. They're not really. They don't feel that it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
However, for me, like seeing from the outside in, the way I see it, I don't want to say the wrong things here, but I don't see a need for having firearms. I get that the whole self defense and you're registered to carry. I get that, but at the same time, people like Jake said, having the ghost guns, people can get access to guns. people get access to guns, and it's just like
Right.
if you want to be able to, have a license to carry, you gotta register. Like having a car, you gotta get it registered every few years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In order to have it, and not having that whole regulation of having your gun being checked, it's concerning because like you saw what happens when you saw it during the high school years, all those different instances with gun violence, and that's alarming to me. That's scary to me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, when we were in high school and all of these shootings were happening, and
Oh man,
even
that was
still to
crazy,
now,
right?
it was really
To
scary.
be in high school as all that was happening.
I know, and it's still ongoing. It's just interesting now. Oh my god. Okay. Cam is getting a notepad. It's okay. See, now I don't even know what word to use. I guess what I was going to say is that right now in the world there are so many issues going on, like
Mhm.
about endless, that I couldn't even like. There's so much going on in the world, and just in the U.S. actually in general, the U.S. that not gonna say that I forgot about the gun control issues, but they honestly, I don't know, I guess got pushed aside because of like this pandemic and
Oh
everything else
yeah.
going on. That now, just when this shooting happened in Boulder, that
It
you know
reminded us.
Yeah.
it
Reminded us.
did, and
No.
that's unfortunate that we had to have a reminder, like
Yeah.
in that kind of way, like that is ah yeah, that's a good word. Kenny Horn, our producer on the back end, said the word desensitized. Yeah, that's what it is. Well, I guess I don't want to say we're used to shootings because it's still alarming to see in the
Yeah,
news
Yeah.
and
But
to experience too if
Mhm.
you're in an environment where they happen, but it's definitely more normal, and that's a bad thing. And
yeah,
that's why it is
Yeah.
an epidemic and an embarrassment. I agree with our president.
Yeah.
It looks bad on us, and it's not even just that it looks bad. It's awful. People are dying.
I saw a video a few years ago on YouTube, and it was
Mhm.
saying something about it had this from like 2017, 2018. It was
Mhm.
talking about the United States. They had 10 instances alone with they had shootings, domestic shootings,
Mhm.
and around the world they tried to make the same video around the world talking about like the same thing, but at the same, there was it wasn't 10, it was like 25 different instances in like the world history. But the United States, that all the information in the United States was within the past 35 years. So that hearing that is just like, whoa, what is going on?
Yeah,
Mhm.
especially like since Columbine. That's
Yeah.
when
Oh yeah.
that's when it sparked up, and that's like the era that we all grew up in too, which
Yep.
is insane. I mean, you guys remember I mean, I think we were all in high school at the time that it was getting
Uh-huh.
really bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I guess I remember my high school getting threats because I guess kids thought it was cool. It was like what, a trending thing because everyone was
Yeah.
talking about it. So I remember kids talking about it more. Well, kids having intelligent discussions about it, like this, and then other kids actually threatening people.
I mean,
And
there was sorry about that. You continue.
oh yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say, I mean, some kid wrote like some awful slurs on like a bathroom wall or something, and said he was gonna do some stuff on a certain day, scared everyone. Nothing happened, but I don't know. Did anything like that happen at your guys' school because
Yeah.
of this whole
Yeah.
epidemic?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm actually just gonna talk about something that occurred my senior year of high school. We there was this one kid who thought it was cool, right? And he kept posting about kept posting about a gun on his Instagram, on Snapchat story, and I saw that. I was like, wow, that's alarming. So I immediately reported that to the school, and I don't know what happened with the kid. He just like tried to explain himself, trying to think like, yeah, that he thought it was the cool thing to do because everyone was talking about it. I'm like, no, that's something that you're threatening other human beings. That's not cool. That's terrifying.
If you want to be cool, join like a club or something.
Yeah,
Get a skateboard.
Yeah, get a skateboard.
That's so cool.
Seriously. What about you, Jake? Did anything like that happen at any school you went to?
Yeah, there was a scare where there was one person who I think just said like, I don't know if it was a joke or like they said something, and
Of course they did.
yeah, and it kind of put the school on not like lockdown, but I know like an email had to get sent out, and there was a day where people didn't come in because they really thought something was
Yeah.
going to happen.
That was the same thing in mine where like there was like a day that they threatened to do something and
And,
all of the
yeah.
parents and all the kids freaked out and our school sent out like, of course, like a notice of we've taken care of it. Nothing's going to happen. Everything's going to be fine on Thursday because it was like a Thursday. I'll always remember that. It was a Thursday.
It was a Thursday. Oh my God.
I don't know why. It was such a weird day. Like, I don't know. And my parents, they were just like, nothing's going to happen. You'll be fine. Go to school. I was one of the only kids there.
Oh my God.
There was like nobody there. I think a lot of kids
Wait, wow. It wasn't that many for mine.
Really? It was like really like, I mean, we had a big school, so I guess when most people were gone, it like looked crazy because we have like this like giant like lobby where everyone is just standing in the morning waiting to go to class. So when everyone like pretty much wasn't there, like none of my friends were in school that day, maybe like one in like
Wow.
one class, but I don't even think I learned anything that day.
Oh man.
It was like a weird snow day or something. It was like most people just didn't come, and I think a lot of people were genuinely scared, but I think about half of the other kids were using it as an excuse to not go to school, which is also awful.
Yeah, but listen, at the end of the day, what's more important? Your education,
Yeah.
your life.
Exactly. And anything could happen on any day, but it
Yeah.
was a day that like this kid had like threatened people specifically, and he had planned on targeting specific people, like
Yeah. So
that was not cool. I mean,
one of those things that it's one of those things that you don't want to be in the wrong situation, and it's kind of very fair.
Exactly. Because
Like,
if people like did go to school that day and something did happen, then oh boy, I don't even want to think about that. But because I was there that day, but
I was actually on a vacation one time when there was a shooting. I was in Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in Virginia Beach in 2017, and there was a shooter. There was an active shooter while we are just walking down the boardwalk, and we just heard that. It's like, whoa! Like we heard gunshots, and we just saw people run up the street, cops going down the street, and we just did a full on sprint back to the hotel. Now, people I was with, like we're all just really just high school kids and trying to figure, like, we're just there for a football tournament and try to figure out what was going on. But they knew more than me because the area that they grew up in, they knew that's a sign to get out of there.
Wow, that's scary. They just knew. How did you feel? You felt?
I was. It was just really one of those things that trying to adjust, trying to adapt, like trying to make sense of what just happened. I was fearful, and I didn't sleep that night because hearing that, just like, wow, that happened.
Yeah, that must be crazy.
Fortunately, that there was no tragedy. There's no death, so that's the fortunate part about it.
Yeah, the fact that it even had to happen,
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about gun control is that it's not, I guess, across the U.S. It's different in every state.
Yeah.
Which I feel like I don't want to say it's a part of the issue, but we're definitely not united in that sense since it's so different from state to state.
Yeah.
Like New Jersey's very strict and thorough with background checks, and I feel like they keep adding more laws. Like I remember reading an article, I don't know, maybe a few months ago. I don't remember. Time is weird in Corona, but there was definitely something where they added another strict measure, and it's just so different in like every state. Have you guys ever lived in any other states? Because I've only ever lived in New Jersey.
No, Jersey baby.
We're just Jersey BBs through and through.
Yeah.
Which is, but yeah, it's crazy because you'll hear about shootings happening in different places and they don't have as strict measures, and it might be, I think I don't know. My feelings about gun control are I won't say divided, but I'm somewhere in the middle, I guess, where I really don't know what the solution is. But I think
Yeah.
that background checks and like strict, thorough like background checks, making sure that it's at least not in the hands of the wrong people, that is, I think important.
How do you
If
feel
we
about the concealed carrying?
see, that's interesting too,
It,
because again, I don't know, because with the thing with, I mean, I think concealed carrying is only when it's only when like soldiers or anyone who's in the
military.
military. And I know also like police officers do the same thing when they're off duty and they're like, normally just out. I know some of them do that too. Where I mean, they're not gonna make it obvious, but they have it on
Mm.
them.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother issue because, on one hand you could say these people are trained and they know how to use it, but on the other hand, we've seen, the same people sort of, you know, not be exactly the right people to use it, you
Mhm.
I
know?
mean, as well as with that, actually, Jake, you can continue on. You were about to say something. Continue what you were going to
Oh, I
say.
wasn't gonna say anything.
All right. Oh well, with continuing on that, you got to think that soldiers they just came back from doing their tours,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
also coming back from wars, so they have that whole PTSD, post traumatic
Yeah.
stress disorder, right there, and just like the smallest thing could really set them off and just make them freak out. All of a sudden,
Mm-hmm.
there's a bigger issue right there, and it's not majority. It's just really a minority of them. But at the same time,
Exactly.
like the saying goes, a few bad apples ruin the bunch.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing is like it's not going to be that many that are, going to have that kind of moment. Like I know, and then but then it's like what you just said. It's like you don't know who or when or where.
Yeah.
So how do we allow who does what? Like how do we even determine that? Like it's a complicated thing.
Mm.
And then, to avoid that issue, a lot of people like just get rid of them altogether.
That's a whole nother
And
issue.
that's a whole
Yeah,
nother
that's.
thing.
I'm sure people have feelings about that.
Yeah, we're just a
Um,
bunch of college students. We don't know what we're
yeah,
talking
we're not
about.
sociologists.
it's it's just an issue that needs to be dealt with
Yeah.
Oh,
because
definitely, and it's good that something's being done that, like, I don't know, it's being recognized for what it is, and I don't know, actions are being taken.
yeah,
We hope they're right, but who are we to say?
honestly, I don't even know. We just need to do something at some point
Yeah.
because doing nothing will literally do nothing and everything will just keep going on. So even if we make some sort of action, it maybe if it's wrong, at least we tried something. And then you
Mhm.
just go back in the other direction. I mean, I know it's not that simple, but
Well, listen, you got to take that leap of faith. It's all about
exactly.
whatever happens. It's not you don't lose a situation because you made an attempt to try to fix the problem. And if it doesn't work, okay, then we try another alternative. If it does work, congratulations, you got it. You got it under control, and you figured out the situation. You figured out your issues, and
Mhm.
that's really what honestly the United States should probably start trying to find alternatives and
Yeah.
not try to find that kind of middle ground has that doesn't restrict gun laws, because I know, like I said, a lot of people will be very very offended if the
It
gun
would
laws.
so not end well. I feel
It
like
would not,
it would start like riots.
yeah,
Oh man.
It would be
Yeah.
bad in some
like
areas of America. Like I could already see it. Like
yeah,
it would just be a nightmare.
like you can't get rid of them altogether, or else that's gonna happen. And
And also, there's a whole logistical issue. Like, how do you collect
exactly,
like millions of guns?
Oh my god, that's so
exactly.
true. You just go into their house and you're like,
Like,
give me
hi.
your gun. But like
Right,
what?
exactly.
Like,
What are you gonna do?
I don't.
And some of
Like
those people can also be are licensed to carry as well. So
exactly.
at that point, it's a giant waste of time for them. And
Exactly. Because technically they have that right if they've done the
exactly,
background checks or if they were in the military, if they're a police officer, like technically that's their right,
yeah,
and it's so complicated. But I was just the cultural divide is really
it's
just
evident.
interesting. It's like even like you said before, like now North Jersey and South Jersey just have different opinions on it, and that's just One
State.
tiny state out of the entire country.
Yeah.
And that isn't that crazy? Like, oh my god. It's just crazy. Okay, I guess that's my new word, but
I'll track that one down too.
oh no. Oh no. So you're gonna have to give me a little recap.
They're gonna give you like a
show.
tally. Yeah.
This is what Leslie said today. This is why she shouldn't be allowed to have a mic.
I just
Make like a PowerPoint presentation. Why Leslie should be
Screen share. Oh
say
my
okay.
god. I'm glad someone's keeping track. Yeah, it's how we improve college
Yes.
radio kids. We gotta try to improve.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm just
There is
poking
no
fun at
ceiling.
myself. What'd you say?
I said there is no ceiling. You could always get better.
You can always improve. Wise words
Yeah.
from Jake Goetz. And with that positive note, surprisingly, we're gonna take a little break here in the Morning Buzz. You've been listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. We'll be right back. Welcome back, radio listeners, to the Morning Buzz. You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is the Friday edition of the Morning Buzz. And I am Liz Gallagher, your host, joined by my co-host
Jake Goetz.
and our sportscaster.
Cameron Martin.
Yes, 3 in the studio today. I'm normally
Yeah.
used to hearing 4 names, so this is just weird for me.
It does
Yeah.
feel very short.
I know it's weird. I'm like normally used to just going around and everyone's here.
Yeah, it's like a nice little circle, but now it's like a triangle.
Yeah. Our newscaster couldn't make it today, but it's okay.
Very
Leslie, how was your walk this morning? How was your walk?
My
this morning?
walk? Oh yeah, I guess I didn't talk about my walk. It was good. A little stressful.
Oh really?
Only because I got up a little later than I normally do.
Oh,
So
really?
my walk therefore was a little later than normal. So I was kind of rushing to get here, but I was still early, so I don't know. But the sunrise was beautiful as usual. Thank you for
I'm
asking,
sure.
Cam. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was nice. There's no one really around campus that much this early, except the occasional
Dear.
janitor that I
Wow.
see in the
Mhm.
SCM, and that's about it. It's just me and that janitor.
This conversation right there. Like, yo,
Yeah.
yo.
Okay.
Well, anyways, we had a bit of an emotional start to our show today. We had a lot of heavy topics to talk about. But alas, we continue, and we have a bit more of a lighthearted rest of our show. So if you're needed some lighthearted news and conversation, we got you. We got your back. There's this article on NJ.com that listed the 25 best New Jersey restaurants with excellent outdoor dining experiences. And me and Jake have been to a few of them on this list. And then there's one that we really want to go to.
Yeah, not that many though. I haven't been to like, it's a long list. Well, it's 25, and I think between me and Leslie, it's only 3 that we've been to.
Yeah.
One that
Cam,
we're kind of interested in.
Cam, take a look at this list that we've got. Have you been to any of
let us
them?
know.
Let me see this list real quick.
There's a bunch.
It's 25 places all across New Jersey, and they picked like different ones from each town too. And I'm actually surprised I know some, because I live in I live in Sussex County. Well, I live on campus now, but I used to live in my family lives in Sussex County, and it's just a woodsy area that I didn't think anyone would bother to go to. That's why I'm just like, oh, people like know that exists.
You know, I've not been to any of these places, but there is a spot in my town that deserves to be on this list.
Oh yeah, give your
yeah.
town a shout out then.
Yo, shout out to Swedesboro, and shout out to Red Hen, the Red Hen dining. It's phenomenal dining experience, as well as Botto's Grill.
Do they have outdoor dining? I guess maybe that's why.
Outdoor dining, yes, it has. The outdoor dining experience is phenomenal. If you guys want to, you guys are in Gloucester County, want to take a drive, definitely go check out those places in Swedesboro.
If you'd like to.
They're right next to each other. It makes it
convenient.
Makes it convenient for everybody. So definitely, if you guys are definitely interested in that, look out for us. Look out for us.
Yeah, Jake, how about you talk about the restaurant you've been to first?
Okay, yeah, the first one on this list is the Asbury, and these are German words, so forgive me if I. It's like Well, I think it's like Festhall and Biergarten. I don't know if you're supposed to like pronounce it in like a German, like Festhall, or like I don't know how the Germans speak, but
Biergarten.
this is in.
I don't know. That was like Scottish.
Was that
but
British or like?
I don't know.
So this is in Asbury Park, and if you haven't noticed, I have I like
Oh.
Asbury Park a whole lot.
That's so
It has a
cute.
special place in my heart.
Is it
And
close to you?
Not really. I go down to the shore in the summer and close
Oh.
to that area.
I've never been to Asbury Park, but I feel like there's so many cool things there that I want to. Like, there's
Oh,
a cat
yeah.
cafe.
Yeah,
and
the cat cafe.
I really want to go to the cat cafe.
Yeah, I haven't been there, but I know my sister has.
If no one knows what a cat cafe is, it's basically a cafe that has cats.
Yeah, cats
you
just
could
chill around.
You just like chill, pet some cats that don't have homes, and it's also a way
Yeah.
for them to get adopted as people see them more because you go in for coffee, but there's cats.
That's right there.
Yeah,
But don't
it's
worry,
amazing.
You won't get any hair in your cup of coffee. I
hope. I don't know. I think you
From
can also
I've
like
heard.
adopt cats from there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
They get some exposure, and there's lots of kittens, and I just want to go to one so bad.
It's a 2-for-1 basically.
It basically is.
You get a great meal and you get a cat. What more?
Yeah, but this Festhall and Biergarten place is pretty good. It's a good pretzel. You remember a good pretzel, so.
Is it pretzel?
Pretzels?
Yeah.
You got me and Cam's attention right there.
You're like.
Ooh, pretzels! I literally.
They all just like
pretzels.
for those listening, they all just like perked up like.
we
pretzel?
literally perked up like physically. Ooh, pretzels. I love a good pretzel though. Like seriously, like a good fresh pretzel with some cheese dip. Ooh, don't even get me started. It's my favorite appetizer. Actually, I can't say that. I love appetizers. I don't know if I could pick one. But have you been there during COVID, pre-COVID?
You know, when I went, it was pre-COVID, but I know their outdoor dining setup is like really pretty. They have like a rooftop area, and I know my brother went a couple times post-COVID. So
they were doing outdoor dining before it was cool, basically.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like a lot of places didn't really do that before, if they didn't need to, or if they didn't have the space. But now they've had to kind of make space, like in the parking lot or something.
Yeah.
So scenic, a parking lot.
So Jake, what I'm hearing is that might have to be the summer spot.
No, honestly, Asbury Park is just a summer spot. There's a beach, there's a beautiful city. I love it. Wow. And there's just a bunch of stuff. I can go on and on about all the things to do in Asbury Park.
You've encouraged me to go explore Asbury Park now because I like exploring new places safely, of course. But
yes, of course.
Oh my God, I've been wanting to go there, so now you've just encouraged me more.
Oh man, and actually, I was there post-COVID once, and they actually shut down the whole main street, like to cars, to traffic, and it was like people were just walking around on the street. It was beautiful. Oh my God.
That sounds so nice.
Yeah.
You just convinced me. You convinced me.
Alrighty. Well, there's two restaurants actually back to back on this list that I've been to because they're very close to where my mom's house is. We've been living there for a couple years, so I guess I got to know the area better than I thought I did. I was gonna say more well. That's not English. More well. Like trying to sound intellectual, but no. But yeah, there's this place, Andre's Lakeside Dining, and that's in Sparta, which is weird because our address is technically Andover, but it's also technically Sparta. But it's like 5 minutes from my mom's house, and it is like on the outside, it looks like this tiny little place, and you go in, and it's huge. I've never outdoor dined there, just to preface this. I've only been there pre-pandemic, but it was so fancy. I felt so out of place. I was just, I've never felt more out of place in my whole life because it was just so fancy and the service was just so good that I was just like, what do I do? Like, I was like, what fork do I use? I don't know. I was confused. It was really good though. I was just out of my element. And if it's called Lakeside Dining, so there must be a lake, even though I know the area, like I can't picture it well now. But I would assume it's pretty scenic.
You would imagine if it's called Lakeside, though, has to be some kind of waterway.
I mean, I know that there's a water park like 2 minutes down the road, but I don't think that's what they're talking about. So imagine you're going outdoor dining, you see a water park. The other place I know is Bell's Mansion in Stanhope, and
That's so cool. Like name.
you
Like
know it's actually a mansion, and
oh
even
my
better,
god.
get this, it's a haunted mansion.
Wait, actually, how is it haunted?
There's
Like,
ghosties just
did
vibing
somebody
around.
like die there or something?
There has a lot of like ghost history. I don't know it super well. I've been
Okay.
there a couple times. I don't personally get chills when I go there,
Mm.
but a lot of the staff will say like, "Oh yeah, there's some ghost activity going on here. We've seen or felt stuff."
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and when you walk through it, it feels like you're in someone's house
This
almost.
place looks haunted. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I'm
Right?
looking at
It has like
pictures.
it has a whole vibe.
Yo,
And
someone definitely died there. Oh my god.
Jake
That's
is
what
now
you're taking away from it.
fascinated.
That's what you're taking away from it.
I'm sorry. It just has the vibe.
Jake, how about you share your screen and show everyone what you're
Oh
so
my god. Let's
amazed
see.
by that I've
Let's
been to
see.
this place?
Desktop 2. This is the one. Can you see it?
No.
No.
Oh, I have to click share. I'm so dumb.
You did not click
There we go.
share.
Yeah, but
That's
look
it?
at this. Look at this. Like,
Ooh.
look at this. Come on.
Yes, that's the one.
This
That
is
is
so
it.
spooky.
Yep.
It's very pretty. Oh, come on. Look at that.
That might be an
That
old
looks like the
picture.
opening to the Haunted Mansion.
No, like literally that sign. I drove past it every day going to high school.
This is so spooky. I love it.
That might be
See,
a bit of an older version because I don't. It's not as like I don't want to say it's not as nice anymore, but there isn't a huge garden that I remember. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they've changed.
Looks like they got some plants and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. It might have changed a little bit, but very.
Yeah.
I love how I just like went on Google. Just like whoa.
Yeah. How is the food though?
It's pretty good. It's like Italian, and
Oh, cool.
I don't know. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's I don't know. I feel like I go there more for the haunted aspect. I haven't been there
Yeah.
in a while, but
Yeah.
alright, so
just
that's
I don't know. It's so fun being in like a place that's like haunted. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Haunted restaurant.
Because
Oh
it's not
man,
scary.
that's
It's just
amazing.
Yeah, it's
it's
just like-
interesting.
that's a Halloween type of
Mhm.
environment right there.
I
So,
should go there
Mhm.
on Halloween or during spooky month. I've never been there in October. Only like in the summer. So
yeah,
that's funny.
add that to your bucket list.
Yeah. I guess I will because I live so close to it. I mean, I'm moving soon, but anyways. So, you guys remember how a few weeks ago we covered a story on this steer in Rhode Island who escaped the slaughterhouse.
My boy Slash.
Yes, and we
Yes.
named him Slash at the end of our show because we were goofing around and having a good time. So Slash the steer escaped. And update to that story that I found, he was captured in late March,
Yeah.
which makes me a little sad. But there was a petition for him to not be slaughtered because a lot of people heard the story and they were like, "No, save the steer. We don't want him to go back. We've made an emotional connection to him because he was in
Save
the
Wilbert.
so they're just like wanting to save this little cow. And this other story from AP News oddity section, our favorite, is it was about 24 picture 24 of something 24 monkeys escaped a German zoo for a day. They just had a little outing for the day, and then inevitably they were captured. Whoa, I just hit my mic. So sorry about that, listeners.
Wait a second.
They don't
That's-
have a picture of the monkeys, but I'm picturing in my head, and it's chaotic.
That is horrifying. Like a steer. A steer is just gonna walk around and not do anything. That's fine. I don't care
Like-
about a steer. But a dozen monkeys. A dozen means
two.
12. Oh,
Two.
two? I thought you said a dozen.
No,
Okay, that changes
two.
things a lot. But two is still very scary.
That's hilarious.
That's a lot of monkeys.
That's like a team of monkeys just causing chaos. And doing
No,
whatever
that's
they want.
hilarious. Hold up.
Right? I wish there was a picture, but basically, they just yeeted out of the zoo, and they spent the day in the forest. At the end of the day,
Okay.
someone found them and I guess brought them back. But like 24 monkeys? Like 24. Like that's a big number.
Wait, it was 2 dozen?
It was around 24. So
Oh, I
like,
thought you said there was only 2. Oh my, yeah, that's
no,
terrifying.
24.
2
24.
dozen.
Or-
That is horrifying.
Oh
Could
my
you imagine if a horde of monkeys just came at you like that? you're walking down the street and you see like zombies, but instead of zombies, you see monkeys.
Just monkey. The monkey
That's-
apocalypse.
I would run. I would
Yo,
You're kidding. I love
find
monkeys.
a route.
I would be their friend.
you're going to your dentist appointment, right?
Sorry,
Next thing
I'd
you
love
know-
one monkey.
You're going to your dentist
No.
appointment. Next thing you know, you just see 24
Your
monkeys
dentist.
like chase you down the street. I don't know if I would start laughing or just start crying.
And like honestly, when I pictured this story, I pictured like these cute little monkeys. Like I don't know, I pictured like
too.
small monkeys.
I'm
but,
picturing
like,
the one from what's it? Jumanji.
Oh,
That's what's going through my head. And our producer brings up a really amazing point. Could you imagine if you were walking down the street and you saw these monkeys and you were eating a banana?
a banana.
Like,
do they really like bananas that much?
oh,
though?
actually,
Or is that a thing from like cartoons? I don't
I
even
don't know.
know.
I feel like bananas are just everyone likes bananas. So
I mean, yeah.
I love
I would
bananas.
if they had a banana, I would steal.
I'd
it from
run
them.
for it. I would not give it to them. I would.
No. Well, what's interesting is that these monkeys are called Barbary macaques. I hope I'm saying that right. Weird word. Also known as Barbary apes. And if you look them up, they're honestly so adorable. I thought they were gonna be big and mean and scary, but they're so cute. But I also love monkeys. I just think they're adorable no matter what. But yes,
Well, that's something.
24 of those little guys just chilling in the forest. And according to our producer, monkeys like grapes more than bananas.
Oh, that's interesting. I feel
So I
like
guess don't
there's-
carry grapes with you down the street anymore. I guess is what we've learned today. That's the big takeaway from the buzz. Don't carry grapes on you.
I'm seeing
these monkeys
I
are
can
so
see it
weird
now.
looking.
24 of these.
I think they're cute.
That's funny to me.
Yeah. Just like 24 monkeys. And that also makes me think, like, I wonder what happened here. Did they, because we know monkeys are smart, right? So, like, I've got two theories. The one is the monkey see, monkey do theory, where one of them just kind of wandered off and 23 followed. That's my first theory. My second theory is that they planned an escape.
Mm.
Because
They
there's
planned an
24 of them. That's a lot of monkeys, and we know that they're
Yeah.
smart.
They
I mean-
planned an escape.
They got a piece of paper. They wrote it all down.
You're basically saying that they planned a jailbreak.
Maybe they did. I mean, I don't know what they're
Prison
capable
break.
of. They could have. I mean, that steer probably saw his friends being
Yes, they
murdered, and
did.
he was like, "I'ma head out."
They
The
saw the
monkeys-
steer on the
They saw the
on
steer on the news.
and they were like, "That could be us."
Inspiration.
Oh my god. Okay. Anyways, enough monkey business.
The story is bananas, though. Come on now.
Mm.
There's too many jokes to be had here. Okay, enough of the monkey business. 'Cause it's funny. I'm sticking with that one. We've got Trevor Joya, our
Howdy.
our entertainment. What's the word I'm looking for? Contributor. Our entertainment contributor.
Entertainment contributor. Yeah. I
There we
think.
go.
Yeah. So.
And- Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so guys, like Netflix had a huge deal yesterday. Netflix scores the streaming rights to new top Sony films. That's crazy. They basically signed they're going to start in 2022 with releases with after the Sony films theatrical releases. This is going crazy. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's honestly super weird because you would think, I mean, most like place or like, entertainment or media companies, I should say, are making their own streaming services to like fit in. But
Yeah.
Sony's like, nah, just give to Netflix. We're done.
Honestly, probably smart. There's so many of them, and I
It's
don't
hard to
know.
compete.
I don't know what their
honestly.
numbers are doing, but I feel like I feel like they must know that not all of these are going to be hits.
Honest-
No.
Honestly, Sony does not have the money right now to have a streaming service. They don't have a lot of revenue coming in right now.
Mhm.
Their only two revenue streams are coming from Spider-Man and like that's it. Like basically they don't have a lot of money coming in
Also,
in their film division.
something about Sony too with their films is Their films are not the best in the world.
Yeah, they said.
No.
There's this thing called the Emoji Movie that exists.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
that was
yeah.
them.
That's
That
what
Dude,
was
I
them.
forgot about that. You just
Yeah.
unlocked a whole memory.
Mhm.
Thanks.
that exists. So yeah, it's probably best that Sony does not have a streaming service.
Yeah, so
Probably wouldn't take off. And there's so many to compete with. Like,
there's so many.
it's so insane. I feel like I keep seeing new ones pop up.
Nickelodeon.
And I'm just like, who are you?
Like,
Really expect people to get all these subscriptions? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
I know, and it's just getting so complicated. It used to just be like Netflix and maybe Hulu, and now
Yeah.
it's like there's so many.
Netflix,
HBO
Hulu,
Max.
Disney Plus, Peacock,
I
others.
like I know
Paramount
that
Plus.
Amazon,
Paramount Plus is just not as good, and I can tell you this from true like filmmaker and like a film buff. It's just not as good as they say it is because
Mm.
their content is so minimal.
Oof.
But Netflix, they're losing subscribers.
Yeah, I can
basically,
see that. I've heard
because
people even say
I-
that they don't want to be with Netflix anymore because it's not good enough
Now
for
their
them.
prices are expensive too.
They recently they did a price hike up on their
Mm-hmm.
prices, so it's not like the best thing ever. It's genuinely not, and they're trying to compete, and I understand the fact they are, and I'm just like, you guys had a really good market, but you just kept upping the price and you didn't listen to customers.
Yeah, it's because the whole thing with raising the prices is a lot more complicated because they have to compete with other streaming services, and with so many popping up, people are gonna compare prices and compare what kind of content they have. So it's
Yes.
just it's not so simple.
Yeah, and the Spider-Man movies going to Netflix, that really worries me, because what it's going to say to me is like, possibly down the line, we're not going to have Spider-Man in the MCU anymore.
Oh no.
That's
Yeah, you're
one.
right. That might
That's
be
one-
true.
That's one of the thoughts, because it's like, because I think my personal theory is that after Spider-Man No Way Home, Tom Holland's going to go to a different multiverse, and he's going to go to the Venom universe.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's my thought, and they're going to have, and so like, I think they're going to let Spider-Man, they're going to probably have Miles Morales take over the mantle. That's my guess, but I don't know.
Interesting. Oh, there it is again, Cam. Any other film and TV news for us today, Trevor?
Oh yes, yes, of course. Like, you got the Hollywood Reporter, like recently this week, like we had the brand new clip of Ghostbusters Afterlife, with the mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I would love to show the clip, but the clip is so funny and so dark at the same time that basically it's so messed up. I've never seen any more messed up in my life.
Sorry,
And it's a
FCC.
kids movie, and it's really funny.
The FCC may not like that.
No, it's a scene that it's really funny. I did not
Oh, okay.
at first I did not like it, but I do like it a lot now because it's hilariously dark, and like, this is the
Dark
kind of
humor.
it's
Yes.
it's a it's a mini Stay Puft Marshmallow, like mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, just like, how do I put it? I can't even put it into words what they're doing to each other. Like, they're just not being friendly to each other. They're kind of like
Aw.
gremlins. They're kind of like gremlins from the Gremlins movies.
Oh,
They're kind of like that. They kind of make the gremlins from the Gremlins movie look so clean by comparison.
Wow. Okay, that says a lot then.
Yeah.
But in other news, IndieWire reports that an HBO Max deal, they recently had a sit-down interview with the HBO Warner Media head of Jason Whitmore, and he stated that down the line we could see more releases coming to theaters, but they'd have to do it on a case-by-case basis. And it's really complex because I can't probably, like, basically they said, like, in the interview, that possibly we're gonna see Dune in theaters.
Oh man.
And not like on HBO Max. Possibly like
Well, that's weird.
That could be cool. I can imagine
Yeah.
Doom being a big one for the theater.
Yeah, and I think and basically they're because I think of Godzilla versus Kong as success is basically them saying like, yeah, we're starting to reevaluate the situation of day and day movie theater on
Mm.
HBO Max.
When's that set to come out?
October something. Doom?
2021? Oh
Yes.
boy. And they want it in theaters. I mean,
Yeah.
I can see that because a lot more people are vaccinated by then and stuff, but I don't know how that's gonna work out for them. I'm interested to see how that will play out. That
No,
decision.
it's trust me, this movie as a person who's read the book,
Mhm.
and I can say like this movie's gonna be intense.
You read the whole book?
I listened to the whole audiobook.
I see.
It's one of those things where it's just like it's gonna be like I think it's gonna be a new version of Game of Thrones.
Mm.
Yeah, I can see it. It's a big book.
Where people are gonna not be expecting what's gonna happen with this movie. But yeah, I can't. But in other news, the last piece of news is Warner Media rebrands Studio Cartoon Network Europe as Hanna-Barbera Studios. And they're possibly looking to like expand their Hanna-Barbera content on HBO Max and into theatrical content to possibly make a theatrical universe for the Hanna-Barbera and possible TV shows down the line.
Nah, I remember growing up watching Boomerang. That was having Boomerang. That was what's up.
Yeah, that's the thing that worries me the most is just like I think they're just not like certain things. Yeah, it should be really good, but it's also that. But yeah, like it's definitely something that I did not expect to happen, but it's definitely one of those things that I'm like, okay, it could be really good, but who knows?
Trevor, what's your favorite streaming service right now?
Probably HBO Max.
That's a solid choice.
Because I feel like their content is a lot better in my eyes in terms of like what they have on there and they don't just feel like it feels like it's worth like $15. It's worth $14 a month, $15 a month.
You're getting what you want out of your money. That makes sense.
Yeah.
How about you, Cam?
Disney Plus. Like I said last week, I got Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I'm gonna catch up on after I get done this.
You got plans for after the buzz?
Oh yeah, I got plans after the buzz.
What about you, Jake?
I don't know. I alternate between Hulu and Netflix, but I feel like Hulu. One thing about Hulu is they have like such a good cartoon selection.
Yeah,
that is
true.
true.
Like any cartoon you want to see, it's on Hulu. So
that's true. They do.
That's
have
pretty
that.
big.
A lot of streaming. I mean, not like a lot of streaming services don't, but they're different for that. You're right.
Yeah.
What about you, Leslie?
What about me? I don't know. I've been watching Netflix lately because I've been watching for the first time, Shameless. As a Gallagher, I kind of have to watch it.
My god!
So I've been watching that. So Netflix, right now, anyways. I don't know. I like HBO Max too, though, and Disney Plus. I don't know. I'm indecisive.
Happens to the best.
Complicated question. Anyways, our time is up here on the Buzz. If you just woke up or you just tuned in, you're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and have a good weekend, y'all.